What's going on, cowboy? In this video, we are talking about a new blockchain called BlockX, and we've got one of the team members, but his mind behind everything that's happening behind BlockX. His name is Manindra, and we're going to be grilling him up in the hot seat, asking him questions, trying to figure out, hey, is this project worth our time and money and investment, or is this something that we should just totally pass up? If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm on a journey to my next Bitcoin while helping you to your next Bitcoin. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a lizard brain, gorilla armed, diamond handed cowboy exploring the wild west of cryptocurrency with a whole bunch of other cowboys. If you want to roll with me, hit the subscribe button down below. Join us in the saloon. That's the Telegram channel where we're always talking about new and exciting projects that are coming out, whether or not, you need a good crowd of people around you. Now, if you're like me, you do research on YouTube a lot. And some of these guys, some of these YouTubers, you can't trust them. You can't trust me. So that's why we're on blockchain anyway, right? But you want to know, like, hey, what are the next upcoming projects? But they are getting paid and compensated to tell you, like, a fake opinion of theirs, right? It's just kind of a promotion, but sometimes they don't let you know. But so that's why I came up with this AMA interview. I'm able to interview a dev directly, face to face, eye to eye, belly to belly, and see, hey, is this project worth it? Is this project worth my time and money? And they get to share their project with passion. I get compensated, and you and I get the best source of information that we need, whether or not we can decide if this project is for us. So we are talking about BlockX today, and we have Manindra in the hot seat. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Aaron, thanks very much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. Before we get into even BlockX, I want to know who you are a little bit. Who are you coming into crypto? What's your background before you came into crypto?
Sure. I'm Manindra, so founder CEO for BlockX. So before here I was in San Francisco. I did my MBA there, and right after that I started a company called GoFind. That was an artificial intelligence for shopping. You take a picture and you find all the things that you can buy. Now, that uses AI and a lot of sophisticated technology. But however, we couldn't really take that off to the sky limits that we wanted to. And at the same time, when I was there, I met a lot of people in crypto. I got really interested in crypto, and I got really sure that this is the next wave. This is the next future. So that's why I stopped my other project and just jumped the bandwagon to the crypto era. Flew down to Singapore and a few other events around, and then started met a few of my teammates, and now we are here at BlockX, like building the company true, and like seeing it and riding the next wave of pretty much everything. I would say not just finance and DeFi, but literally the remaking of the entire internet. Right. So
Yeah,
very
yeah.
exciting times. I'm glad to be here.
I totally agree with you. This blockchain, the crypto, this whole thing is like the future, the revolution of all kinds of technologies. So you were in San Francisco, you were starting on a startup project, and it didn't go the way you wanted. So, but you found like these other guys, and you flew halfway across the world to start this new project called BlockX. Could you explain to us what is BlockX? What's it all about? Some of the features, all that kind of stuff. What's the project all about?
Sure. So BlockX is basically a layer one proof of stake blockchain, which is and we have purpose built this for the DeFi, NFTs, and Metaverse. So to try to like simplify it a little bit and build some similarities, it's similar to what you'd say an Ethereum alternative, such as Avalanche, uh, Polkadot, or Solana. But what we have done is so all of them mainly feature on getting the highest speed and lowest cost, which we have got as well. But we are now one step further, where we are sort of like building in the blockchain natively certain features that let us take blockchain to the next stage. Because as you can see, the dApps that are getting built on blockchain are getting more and more complicated, and so we felt there's a need of certain things that a proper layer one blockchain needs to be done, what we call like Ethereum alternative. Some of these things are, one is what we call multi-chain settlement. So within our chain, you can settle tokens and currencies from various chains, including BTC or other Cosmos-based coins. There is a digital identity, which is optional, but let's say you are building a bank on top of a blockchain, identity becomes pretty crucial. Anonymous transactions are great, but if we have a dream of bringing banking and capital markets into blockchain and make DeFi much more stronger, then I think identity is required. So that is an optional piece, but it's there for everyone to use it. And a third piece is data link. So blockchain needs a way to also get data which are off chain across data third party databases. So similar to what Chainlink has. So we have this Oracle framework through which we get external data, whether that could be financial data like stock or housing prices or anything else. So you get those inputs off chain, and then but you still have your blockchain framework to run your transactions and everything through. And I think that brings us to a very nice suit, a very nice platform to build a future blockchain products on.
Gotcha. So BlockX is an Ethereum alternative. Okay, so it's a blockchain, something similar to Solana or Avalanche, and you've got three different USPs or different pieces to the way you do it differently. And it's got the standard, hey, low costs on the gas fees, extremely fast, scalability is high. But you're saying that there are three things: a multi-chain settlement, an identity use case, and then a off-chain data, the ability to bring off-chain data onto the chain,
Exactly. Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
an Oracle. So can
Yeah.
you give me is Solana not capable of these things? How's BCX, how's BlockX different from these things? Are they not
Right.
capable of doing this, or do they outsource to third party?
So in most cases, because at the times that they were built, so they were mostly focused on the speed and other things, and so developers have to come up with those things. So and what happens is, you could think of blockchains almost like operating systems. Like certain features are built into the firmware, and you can just call in directly, and certain features the developers built in, and then Mac OS different from Windows and everything else. So in our case, we have built some of these functions natively into it. So developer, you don't have to like build your own Oracle infrastructure and everything within your apps, which you can do in Ethereum, in Solana, everywhere else. So we have so the difference between us and them to bring an example from operating system is natively ingrained and embedded into it. That makes it more powerful, more secure, more fast, uses less gas fees. Because
Mm-hmm.
those three things, and there's a few others as well, but those three things we see them as the cornerstone of sort of building a future application. We took certain examples, certain use cases of what would a bank look like on a blockchain, right? You have to bring there are certain things that at a bare bones it will need, and if we are asking developers to build those things and all of them will build it separately, I think there will be issues. So this way, it's more consistent, and when there's an upgrade, everyone gets upgraded at the same time. So yeah, so that's how it's different. It's built in, it's embedded natively into the chain.
Okay, so help me understand a little bit more into this. So you're saying that uh, Solana doesn't have that natively. They have them like third-party devs, like these extra devs build out an identity system or an Oracle or a multi-chain settlement, but you're doing it native. And is that something similar? So like I run Mac, right? I use iOS, I use Mac, and on Mac, what if Mac came out with its own like software that cleans it up, or I use a third-party developer like Clean My Mac, right? And you're saying that's the difference here that we're talking about, like something
Exactly.
that's
Yeah, that's a good
native.
example. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
if clean my Mac, like in photos in iPhone, now you can select the text, right?
yeah,
That's embedded into it. But there's some
yeah,
other applications that we're doing it. But the moment you do it natively, it's way faster and better and everything else. Obviously, you cannot do everything, so you have to be very selective what you want,
gotcha.
to build in. There's a cost to everything.
Yeah, so it's deeper, more deeply integrated within the operating system of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay,
It's deeply
so
integrated. Everybody understands it, and it's also lets in easier development. So
gotcha,
someone building a bank or anything else that needs an identity doesn't have to build a whole identity framework, which at the present everybody has to. If they want to build, they have to connect to KYC providers and do various things, which are built in. Same for the multi-chain stuff. Same for data link. You just think of yeah, it's way better as long as you know the API endpoint and the webhooks. You're good to go.
got
Yeah. So and by the way, so that's the chain, And then like Ethereum has Ether, Avalanche have AVAX. So our token is BCX,
Hmm.
and that token can be used for earning the staking rewards. It's at 20% APY. Also, you can be a validator, and then earn the gas fees as well. The users, when they post the transaction, they use BCX for the gas fees, and then we are partnering up, and as well as ourselves building certain apps on top of it, including an exchange and a launchpad. And BCX can be used as the fees for a fee paying token for that, just like BNB. And when you do that, you get the benefit of a 50% of when you were using BCX token for your fee payment. So that's the BCX is the token that sort of like powers the chain, and the incentive give you the staking rewards and the gas fees, similar
Gotcha.
to what sort of like Ether on steroids.
So maybe someone who doesn't understand like how to earn passive income, right? So you're saying that anyone could kind of be a node for BlockX and then be a validator by just going to block your website and then just signing up and downloading the software and then becoming a validator for you guys. Is that about right?
Yeah. So we are releasing the incentive. So right now we are internal test net. So we are releasing the incentivized test net next month, and at that time the staking reward also starts. So you can download our from our GitHub repo the node software. There's some minimum system requirements that you'll have to run, and as long as you meet those criteria, you run up the nodes, and then you can stake. And also you can provide that as a service to others and create a pool, and then you get even better
Okay.
returns on top of the standard returns when you're creating a liquidity pool. So yeah,
Gotcha.
so that's, and it helps the network as well. Obviously, makes it more
Gotcha.
secure, but much faster and everything else.
Okay. So, do you have any other uses of block of BCX? Right. You said the staking. You said you could be a node. You could. What else? What else is there?
Well,
Help
the
me
gas
line it out.
fees,
The
the
gas
gas
fees.
fees are paid through the BCX. So every time
Gotcha.
are making a transaction, that's paid
Perfect.
with BCX. And
Okay.
then there's discount on fees on several applications. So we are sort of like promoting, obviously, on our own platform. We are building ourselves and with several developer firms. So certain various applications, incubating them, and they all take BCX as as a token for their fee payments. So in
Okay.
all of those applications, a few exchanges, and few other software, so the BCX can be used for lower fees.
Gotcha. So I believe that the future is multi-chain. In my opinion, like every one of these chains are going to be used, and they might niche towards different focuses. Right? Does BlockX does it have its own focus? Do you guys have a particular type of developer or applications or businesses you'd like to focus on?
I mean, the three business that we have sort of like thought about is DeFi, NFTs, and Metaverse. So within these criteria, we've looked at various real world examples and sort of like architectured our chain for their use. That includes an easier ability to issue tokens, to bring tokens and other digital assets from other chains to BlockX. Like you're saying, like really, like there'll be multiple chain and multiple currencies and tokens that will coexist, right? We're not looking at a world of one winner take it all. So we have built in that those capabilities, and very easy NFT integration. It's also with the identity and other piece is great for financial applications. So we have brought in a lot of other attributes which will really help in building those applications, including metaverses. So within metaverses, I think it's great for social media and messaging. So in some cases, I think you will still have anonymous identities, but in some cases, you can have your identity in it or certain form of identity. You can create your identity, but that will be like fixed and baked into the chain.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then
What kind
obviously
of
the NFT part.
what kind of developers do you have lined up now? Do you have a pool of developers that are like very interested in BlockX? Do you have a pool of partners? What's the track record of you guys right now?
Yeah, so we internally, like we have a small team, 25 people spread around the world. And so we are obviously working on our own to build sort of the protocol, But then we are also partnering with various development houses in several countries to sort of bring their applications and build the applications for our chain. So we're very excited about those partnerships, and there are partnerships around pretty much every phase that we are doing, including a digital identity piece where we are bringing in. We have not announced it yet, but we're going to announce various partners who are the key players in the identity space.
I was going to
Uh,
ask you, what are these partners? I want to
yeah,
know
well,
these names.
we're announcing them shortly. So
Okay.
as we get the approval, they are going to post. We're going to post at the same time.
Okay.
We're also bringing in some in-house. I was not telling you about data link, but we are bringing some huge data warehouses that will be easily and directly accessible just by being part of BlockX. That's a huge business in its own of providing those data, and you can have them through BlockX, and obviously multi-chain settlement. So we are working on that. We will shortly open up an incentive program and a grant program, so that more and more people can come in and help us build the rest of the platform. We are planning a hackathon sometime in Q1 next year, and various awards for various stuff that we have to build. So as we sort of like we're setting up the foundation right now, it's very early days, so really great time to get in. But as we're setting up the initial foundation, we're going to open it up more and more, and ultimately, like this network will be owned and governed by the owners of the BCX tokens. So we're releasing the blockchain explorer very shortly, and you will see there's a way for proposals to be posted directly. So and any decisions to be made in a democratic way. So once this token distribution and sale is done, the network will be owned by the developers and the owners and the stakers, and then they can take it all the way through.
Gotcha. So you're saying that whoever buys in early gets a bigger piece of governance, a bigger say into the future of BlockX.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Perfect. So it's a good time to get in, especially I mean everyone who's in crypto wants to get in
yeah.
early, especially
I
now
mean, you
for
could
sure.
think of like buying into Avalanche, Ethereum, or Solana or Polkadot 2 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's where we are. And the best part is because we got these chains to learn from, so we can actually we have started now, but we can actually like zoom past a few of the stage that others have to go through, and we can get to a stage where applications getting built and ready from prime time very soon within the next few months
Mhm.
versus 1 or 2 years. So I
To
think
me,
we come in. I think it's a very good window of time to join the platform.
gotcha. So for me, I listen to this podcast called the All In Podcast, and there's these four venture capitalists who always say, "Hey, when you're investing into the future blockchain or future blockchains, you want to follow where the developers are going. Follow the developers because that's where wherever they're building their businesses and their apps." That's where the money's going to be. So, how have you gotten the current developers that you have now? How many developers do you have? How have you gotten them? And how will you continue to onboard more and more developers?
Sure. I mean, and we are really focused into that as well. And it's correctly said. Like one of the reasons blockchain is so great is you have so much of the developer capital, human capital into it, right? So yeah. I mean, we are very focused into that. So initially, I set this up with like people that I know, but then obviously we are grown now from 2 3 people to 30 to just 35, and we're growing every week. So we kind of currently recruit online. So we are born in the times of COVID, right? Over the
Mhm.
next 1 year. So using forums such as AngelList, for example, we actually recruit people. We get to know each other, have a call, connect with teammates, look at their past work, and based on those things, then we hire. And then we also have set up a very nice system of how to work remotely. There's flexi time, but then there is good time tracking. There's scrum, daily scrum work, that's there for like a very quick 10 minutes. There is weekly reviews. There's OKR reviews, and then using both Slack, Notion, and a bunch of tools for us to really work together. Like the team is spread across more than 10 countries right now, but we are able to sort of work it out together. And I think being part of born at a time when you could not meet at the office anyway. We sort of invented into those things, and I think this will really help us in the future, because like, okay, till 35 we could have done it in a single building as well, but if we really want to take this forward, and by next year the project to reach its full potential, we'll probably have a couple of hundred developers, right? Whether it's
Gotcha.
in-house or those who volunteer to work with us
Okay.
or who participate in the grants. But we can sort of like expand these tools and practices to sort of go further out and sort of keep on managing that workflow remotely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then yeah, we are very very focused on that, and obviously you can always do better. But yeah, it's primarily online recruiting for us.
Gotcha. So if you're talking to a developer right now, say someone's listening to this and they have this idea of an awesome, amazing app, right? They have the ability to carry it out, and they're determining between BlockX and Ethereum and Avalanche and Solana and Dot. What would you say to that developer to get them to say, "Hey, come on board with BlockX"?
Right. I mean, definitely come on board to BlockX. And by being an early developer, we have various grants and developer programs that you can be part of. So, and you can build this out directly with us. You'll get much more attention as a newer chain. And then because it's proof of stake, and then we also give support the project to make sure it goes several miles forward. Secondly, for development into BlockX, it's very easy because you can continue developing in Solidity. So we are EVM compatible. So anything that you may have built for Ethereum can easily be ported into BlockX with no big effort. And on top of that, for more complex applications, we also support Golang. So you can write your application into Golang, much more complex ones which you could not write in Ethereum right now. So for that, if you have something that you're not compatible with the existing chains, come to us, and then we will make a good deal where you get to be part of the initial apps that launch on BlockX.
Gotcha. So specialized attention, high like grants and rewards and all that. Okay, so I got it. So I wanted to section that time out for the developers. Now I don't even know what Golang is, but I'm sure a developer knows. I have a lizard brain here. So, but what I want to know here is your future. Okay, I know where you've gone. What's the roadmap? What's the biggest price catalyst? What's the most exciting things that you are excited about BlockX?
Right. I mean, to say like where we are right now. So right now we are at the stage of what we call the internal testnet. So we have a testnet that is running, and then we are sort of like, so it's a couple of nodes we've set up ourselves, and we are validating it. We're getting some third party and outside eyes into it. Next year on January, actually, when things get real, is that we launch what is called an incentivized test network. So it is again still a test network, but here the players will have incentives, the staking rewards kick in, and it's more real. It's sort of like the final assembly to find any bugs before it goes into mainnet. And then finally next year, could be by end of quarter 1 or quarter 2, we aim to enter mainnet. And then I'm very excited to like sort of like work with various developers, as you were just saying, and bring in various applications and ecosystems. Also work with maybe like some VC funds and others to sort of like build this ecosystem. Now, since we are multi-chain settlement compatible, even if you have built your application already in some other chain, you can still be a part of BlockX. So there are pathways towards BlockX, and even through that, and we are EVM compatible, so even then you can bring in. We're also listing BCX early next year, so very excited about that. So we have been working across. So our goal has been, it's been like to be a very community focused project, and to like distribute the token widely. So one of the ways that we have done that is, instead of like a very large allocations to one or two large investors, so we are actually doing the Launchpad way. So we're going mainly next year, Launchpad by Launchpad, and some small ICOs to and airdrop, sort of like distribute the token across our community that we find and build over time. And
Awesome.
that has been the goal, and we're doing that across the next 2 to 6 months. So hopefully, what we will end up is a chain that is loved by developers, and the ownership is spread out across a lot of people, who can then sort of be a part of its governance, and do what's right for the chain, instead of having huge allocations for certain big investors. So yeah, so we are very excited about that process. We have just started out. We finished around with X Markets, another exchange. With later first week of Jan, we are doing a launchpad with P2B, B2B. We are then talking with also several other launchpads right now. So they will all come in next year, and that gives us that wider distribution that
Gotcha.
that that we are sort of aiming for.
You kind of had a lot of stuff there, but let me boil it down to a few points here. January, you're going to have your incentive testnet. You got some launch pads going on there, and then you've got that listing. Mainnet comes on board probably late Q1, maybe possibly Q2, and so that's probably the biggest one where you'll be working to develop relationships with these developers and bringing them on board. Now, you want to spread out the ownership of people all around. I'm wondering, how do I get some airdrops for the Cowboys? How do I get that going on?
Yeah,
What you got to offer? What do you got there?
yeah, good question. So we have an airdrop going on. So I can give you the link later on. So basically, just go into the link, and there's certain things you have to do. Just join some platforms and fill up a form. So you basically get kickstarted into BlockX very early. You could think of almost like a faucet at this
Yeah,
point. It's a very small amount, but you get started. And then
awesome.
to invest further, there is a portal through which you can invest, or you can wait for or you can join one of the launch pads, through
Gotcha.
which you can actually buy more tokens, basically.
Good
And
deal.
I'll share those links with you, so you
Yeah,
can we can share with your community.
good deal. Is there anything left that's on the table here that you haven't brought up yet? Anything that's like a fire in your belly that we haven't even talked about that you want to just are you so excited to let the Cowboys know about?
I think we already discussed the staking rewards. I mean, I don't want to. Nobody can predict the future, but really, the one of the things that I want to get is bring in a lot of people as early as possible, and that's why we joined the channel to like spread our message. There's a good chance that right now the tokens are just 15 cents, and there is a good chance that this can go like 100 or 1,000x. So I'm very excited to share this opportunity to a lot of people, and to a
Awesome.
wider community to be able to do that.
Good deal.
Secondly, also I want to do a shout out. So any developers who are watching this, if you have a project in mind, let's work together. Please contact us. If you're a validator, or you're interested in running your node, also please connect with us. So, and really anything that you comes to your mind in order to join the project, because we want to really open it up, or from development to the node operators to everything else. So, and this is the great time if you want to be part of a chain from an early times. This is where it's not too early, because we have sort of an internal testnet and everything going on, and it's not too late because the mainnet is not launched. So it's the perfect sweet window of time. So please contact us, and we'll definitely work on some exciting stuff.
Awesome. Well, you heard it right here, folks. Be sure to check out their information down below. All the links in the descriptions of everything we talked about will be down below. Check out the community, check out the airdrops, check out these opportunities. This is a sweet time to get involved into BlockX, especially right before this incentive testnet, and very much you're way in advance for the main net, because we are trying to get into projects early, just good, solid projects that we can foresee it just going crazy in the future, just because it's got a solid foundations, solid teams, solid partnerships, and by all accordances, you're going to have to make your decision on BlockX. Manindra, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
in the
very much
hot seat.
for having me here. Oh, by the
We
way, I just want
appreciate
to
you.
add
Oh, yeah.
one last thing. There's a 50% bonus going on between now and end of the year, for the tokens on our platform. I'll obviously share the link with you. So that's a special opportunity for your viewers.
What does that mean, 50% bonus? What
So
exactly does that?
So let's say you buy for a dollar worth or 15 cent worth, $100 worth. You get whatever is for that amount. You get a 50% extra bumped up.
Where do I buy that?
Yeah, so I'll send you the link. So that's like a early incentive thing
Oh
towards the
man.
end of the year.
Oh man.
It's
I'm for
only
sure
till
in. What?
31st of December.
I love it. I'm for sure in. Sweet. So, guys, check out the links down below. Very generous of Manindra to do that. 50%. Come on, guys. That's amazing. Buy one, get a half off for free. I'm not sure if that means he said 50% more. Anyways, guys, Lizard Brain, that's what I got. Gorilla Arms and Diamond Hands. Guys, check this out. Make your own decisions. Not your financial advisor, but check them out in the description down below. Manindra, thanks for watching, or thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.